NIH and several of the other federal agencies having spent about $187 million on CFS and CFS research over the past 20 years. The association is one of the largest non-federal agency supporters of CFS research, and we have spent $5 million in supporting research studies. And I think many of you will be interested and glad to hear that 30% of our grantees from that $5 million have actually gone on to receive further funding for larger extended CFS research from the NIH and the CDC. As of today, we have more than 3,700 peer-reviewed articles about CFS in the biomedical literature. You guys can actually go to the internet and go to the PubMed site, that's www.pubmed.gov, and do this query yourself, and you'll come up with a very similar number. These papers have been published by investigators all over the world: Australia, Europe, Great Britain, Japan, China, and the United States. So I think this reflects the fact that CFS is a very profound global problem that many investigators throughout the world are trying to tackle in order to be able to understand and ultimately come up with objective diagnostic measures and improve treatments. Right now, what we have are some case definitions of CFS that allow us to study some of the disease determinants and the amount of CFS that occurs in various areas. So these case definitions have given us the opportunity to count how many people are sick with CFS, and the latest estimate from the Centers for Disease Control indicates that there are 4 million Americans at least with CFS in the U.S., and that the risk of developing CFS is actually greater in adults than it is in children. We also know that there are less than 20% of people that have actually been diagnosed. Did I say that right? Less than 20% of people with CFS have been diagnosed. Women are more likely to get CFS than men, although men still get CFS. And some of the latest numbers really demonstrate what a huge economic toll CFS takes on the U.S. And the latest estimates have been published by Dr. Lenny Jason at DePaul at $25 billion each year. Remember, and I know many of you guys know this, that CFS is a chronic disease, and you have been living with it for many years. So this is $25 billion for each year that someone is sick with this disease. So a profound toll. Yes?
I'm going to do a poll just to check the sound, because I've had a couple questions about the sound. So if folks could let us know if they can hear us okay.
No.
Move the phone closer.
Can I say something, and can you do the poll again? Is this better? Can you hear me more clearly now? We'll take. Can't open up a poll. Okay.
Most people can hear fine, but a few of you can't, so maybe there's a volume you can adjust on your phone, and we've moved the phone a little closer, and hopefully that will take care of it. Okay.
Okay, we've moved the phone closer, and I'll try to talk a little bit louder. Over the past 20 years, we have accumulated a significant amount of information about the biology of CFS. Dr. Tony Komaroff of Harvard has really distilled this information into what he calls the 10 discoveries about the biology of CFS, and these really are some of the 10 highlights over the past 20 years. We now know that the biology of CFS is different from the biology of depression. We know that there is a chronic immune activation that occurs in CFS. There is also an NK, or a natural killer cell dysfunction. We know that there are brain MRI differences. These are imaging differences, and also brain metabolism differences. There are neuroendocrine perturbations or changes that occur in people with CFS, along with cognitive impairment and autonomic nervous system abnormalities. Some of the recent studies have shown that there are genomic differences. The genome is the DNA that makes us who we are, and the activity of your genes has been shown to be different, as well as some of the actual hard coding or the DNA differences in our body. And we now know that there are a number of infectious triggers in addition to latent virus activation that occur in people with CFS. Now, it's important to note that not all of these occur in everyone or occur simultaneously, and therefore not one of them as yet has been shown to be diagnostic. And it is more likely that there will be a combination of things that will be useful in diagnosing CFS. Now, what I'll do in the next several slides is go through each of these systems to give you some of the most recent research highlights about the CFS biology. I don't know if many of you have seen this slide, this cartoon, but for me it really does capture a lot about how people that don't know CFS think about CFS. And the cartoon reads, chronic fatigue syndrome. Isn't that all in your head? And the woman responds, it was, but then it spread to the rest of my body. And I think science in general has had a tendency to try to compartmentalize disease. That is, you either have a headache, so it's specific to your head, or you have a gut ache, so it's specific to your gut, where one doesn't necessarily affect the other part of your body. But in fact, we now know, and particularly people with CFS can appreciate, that one part of your body that is affected, for example, your gut or your brain, does in fact affect many other parts of your body. And this is in fact the case with CFS. When I was young, I used to enjoy looking at and playing with The Visible Human. And I don't know how many of you have seen The Visible Human, but recently The Visible Human has been resurrected in electronic form. And I think it serves as a good example to try to show you some of the body parts that have actually been shown to be affected in people with CFS. But let's now just look at a normal or a visible, a healthy human, and we'll take a look at the brain. We know now that the brain is the command and control center of the body, and it has 100 billion neurons, each linked to as many as 10,000 other neurons, both within the brain and throughout the body. So this is really quite a network of neurons that connects many parts of our body, organs, so that it functions properly. The endocrine system is a system of glands that secretes helpful chemicals into the blood. So you can think of this as almost a liquid communication system versus the wiring system that the brain is. The cardiovascular system is a system that moves nutrients, gases, and waste